A number of years ago, I was biking through Brown County. We were camping with my family. And I came along this bike path, and it was set a moderate trail for mountain bikers. I've never been mountain biking before, but I'm a man. I can do this. And I didn't have a helmet, but I'm not a kid. Who needs helmet? It's tall, right? And so I'm going down this path, and then I realized, and it was going pretty well, but then I realized after a while that there was a turn coming up, a U-turn. I had no other option besides crashing. At that point, I was going downhill and I couldn't stop. So I ended up crashing into the weeds, didn't break anything, came back with all these scratches over my legs, but I was so proud that I didn't break anything. But I was embarrassed. I wasn't proud of my failure. So then why did I title today's 2-minute devotional, Bragging About Your Failures? Well, we're going to look at scripture that talks about this, where God actually encourages this. But a lot of times you have these in your life, these failures, one after another. Or maybe it's in your Christian walk, one after another, your failures or sins. I don't know about you, at least I have. I think most of us have. I want to look at the scripture from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 and 10. This is from the Apostle Paul, who's writing to letters to the churches in Corinth, encouraging them on how to live a closer life with God. And he's saying, but he, meaning God, said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, God is telling Paul. For my power is made perfect in your weakness. And Paul said, well, therefore then, I'm going to boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest in me. He's realizing if I brag about my weaknesses, then it'll all be for God that I'm getting this power. That is why, for Jesus Christ's sake, I will delight in my weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. Then he finishes it. For where I am weak, then I am strong. Now, does this mean we want to go out and keep failing because we're going to make God proud? No. We don't want to make mistakes in work life. And here again, we can put this to practice in our work life. If we make a mistake, if we keep offending somebody, well, what's the first thing we do? We ask for forgiveness from them. It's the same thing we do with God. When we sin against God, we ask for forgiveness. And number two, we learn, what did I do that I can make it do better next time? So if you offended somebody, what can you do to not do that again? If you sinned against God, what can you do to attempt not doing that again? It's that simple. Are we learning? But God will always, He's promised us to always forgive us. I'll leave you on this analogy, and I always love this. When my girls were little and they were learning to walk, I would have been the worst father in the world if they kept stumbling and I'd say, you're worthless. I can't believe you can't walk. I've seen you walk. I can't believe you're doing this. No, I would go pick them back up and just say, keep coming to me. I love you. I'm not worried about you falling. And that's what a loving, all-powerful God to us. He picks us back up and says, just keep coming. Have a great day.